That's binary for hello. Hi, everybody. Hey. Hey, everybody. It's me, Mac. Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
everybody.
Get out of the student union, folks. Put down your everything bagels. Grab your trapper keepers, kids. It's time for class. Walk across the Salem University quad and hop on into the lecture hall. We are getting into a Days of Our Lives week of, I don't know, what was it, March 17th or something?
17th
March 17th,
through
2020.
what? The 21st.
21st, yes, and today is the 23rd. Goodbye,
Hmm.
March. Well, we got one more weekend in March. One final weekend of March before we
It
say
was
hello,
easy.
goodbye.
It's easy for me to recall for two reasons. Because I was on vacation in Nashville,
Yes.
and the 21st was my father's birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday, Grandpa Al.
Yeah, if he wasn't flying above us and still had his feet on the ground here, he'd be 85.
Wow, 85, really?
Hmm.
That's elderly. It is. It is. Hello, Jeannie. Jeannie has stumbled into class. She's got coffee in one hand and maybe a scone in the other. I'm not sure what Jeannie has today.
Mm,
But vanilla scone with a little
barbecue
bit of
sauce.
frosting? Barbecue sauce?
Barbecue
Is
sauce.
that what you just said?
No, I said, perhaps it's a butter croissant.
Oh, a butter croissant, not barbecue sauce. Can you? I've got a vanilla scone with frosting, and I'm dipping it in barbecue sauce. I'm very pregnant. My name is Joy. Hi. Michelle has stumbled into class. Laura has come in after a night of partying. And Sharon Barnwall is here as well. Sharon, hello, hello.
Has Sharon been in class before?
No. Not that I recall.
It's for YouTube doesn't let that. You can't hear that.
That's okay. People can watch me shake it.
There you go.
Plus, I didn't do it very loud.
Oh,
Because
okay.
for us here on the West Coast, because we're in California, it's
Hmm.
9 a.m. on a Sunday.
It
If you're
is.
not at church, you're sleeping. So,
Perhaps
or hanging out
podcast.
with us. Hanging out. Sharon's first time. Hello, hello, hello. Hi,
Hi there,
Sharon.
Sharon.
Welcome,
Happy
welcome.
here.
I'm happy you stumbled across
Welcome to
us.
Days for Dummies. Are
Days for
you an
dumb.
ex or a dummy?
And
Which one are
if you're a dummy, it's okay. That's why we made this podcast. Because Ma and I, we're dummies too, Sharon. We don't know crap about Days of Our Lives except for what we watched.
you? Which has been about a little over a year and a half is all we've
Yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
watching.
We got started. We got started when Dimitri and Leo started hanging out.
Hmm.
Anyway, Michelle wants to know how your vacation was. You skipped class. Well, not this class, but all your other classes.
Yes.
Home ec
My
and
my
machine
vacation,
shop, all them.
it was fabulous. It really was. My gosh. Broadway in Nashville, and I wasn't even there at night. About when the sun went down, I left. But it is, oh my gosh. It's like Vegas with a guitar. And it just happened to be spring break too.
Oh, so there
So
was
the
kids.
shenanigans were high.
So little Tate Black was running around enjoying his spring
Probably,
break. Yeah, well, I mean that's what he was
probably.
doing this week on days. So he must have hung out in Nashville a little bit. You know.
Yeah, he's 21, so he can't go into my gosh, and everybody, all those stars, all those country stars, they all got a club down there. Every single one of them.
Oh, so you're like Garth Brooks's club and and
Exactly.
and the drunken saddle owned by Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton doesn't have a spot there.
Really?
No, he doesn't.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised that Garth Brooks does. Garth Brooks doesn't sing
Mark
anymore, but
does.
he's got businesses. I
Yes,
remember.
and we went on a tour, and they said that if a bar has a celebrity on the venue, they really do own it.
Wow. See, that's how
It was a great
celebrities
time. It
that's
was a
how
great time.
that's how celebrities stay rich, by the way. It's not because of their music or their movies. It's because of all of the businesses that they actually are invested and involved in.
But that
Evil Ryan Reynolds, the most evil man in Hollywood, Ryan Reynolds. He owns a lot of businesses.
really. I tell you one though, from way back when, it's been gone for a long time. Kenny Rogers had himself a string of restaurants that were very similar to Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was called Roasters. He went belly up. And
Oh,
that was way before he passed away.
well,
So
nobody
it's not a
no
guarantee.
nobody can beat KFC and nobody can beat Popeyes and churches. I mean, it's just covered. It's just covered. Anyway, Sharon's watched and listened for years, but this is her first time participating, and we're super happy for that.
Oh, okay. So,
Well,
well, you know what we're all about then.
yeah, I'm glad that you had a great time over in Tennessee, though, Mama.
I did. And some people don't have an accent at all, and some of them are just, the parking attendant was the most, well, y'all park wherever you, oh my gosh. He was hilarious. I could have stood there and talked to him all day
I,
long, the
I
parking
think
attendant.
I, I think generally, people who are from like the urbanized areas where there's the big cities and Nashville's and Memphis's and stuff, the accents wane, and they're not as strong as if you're in like rural Tennessee.
So I tell you one little short story.
Go ahead.
Are you guys familiar with a place called Dick's Last Resort? It's a restaurant and they are mean to you on purpose.
Oh, I've
That's the
heard.
whole thing of it.
Where they
They're
just
mean to
come
you
up the
on
road.
purpose, and everybody has a dunce hat that they put on you, and you don't know what it says until they put it on you. So, and I'm familiar with Dick's because I've been there before. I've been in other cities. I've been there before. So the four of us walk in. Four of us walk in, and I went to the bathroom immediately, and then the other three in my party sat down at a table. They were sat down, and I went to the bathroom. And when I come back out, the waitress is there, and she goes, "Oh, so you're number four?" I said, "Yes, I am, and you're a big old number two, aren't you?"
Ah, trying to break them, trying to break
The
their
time
character.
we left, we had her broke.
Yeah.
We outdid her.
Well, of course, you're my parents. Of course you did. Sprinkle in a little John in there. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It was fun.
Nothing like unlocking my dad by having him hang out with his best good buddy.
Oh, that was when we were Chantel
Oh.
Jonathan and Chantel. We weren't
Oh.
even in Nashville yet. We were
Got
in
it.
Gatlinburg for that.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I'm glad that you had a good time.
We did.
You enjoyed your spring break just like Tate Black did. That's all. That's all I gotta
Yes.
say. Oh,
But
okay.
Tate don't look like he's having that good of a time.
Michelle tried to defend Ryan Reynolds by saying he's not evil, he's just a C. And I had to figure out what C meant. And C means Canadian. He's just a
Kelly, if
Canadian.
you watch this, listen to that.
I don't know. I don't think Kelly's getting up with us this early anymore.
Oh, okay.
Plus this podcast specifically, because we do 3 talking about soap operas. We talk about soaps the least during this one.
Probably.
It's the morning. We're just getting started.
I know.
We
I
got to
know.
warm up. We've been podcasting for
You
8
know
minutes
I'm-
now, and I've only mentioned Tate.
I'm a slow starter
Well,
if I wear my hair natural.
so, so, so what we really got to do is just get started at 8:30 instead of 9, and we just have a half hour of just non-specific chit chat. That way, when 9 o'clock strikes, we're ready to talk about soap operas.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I just need that 30 minutes, I think.
Are you saying that you're not ready to start podcasting at 4 a.m. on a Sunday with me?
No, no, sir, I'm not.
How are we going to be doing weekly drive time morning radio together? I guess
Well,
we're
if we
not.
ever have that opportunity, I may rethink that.
That'd be super fun. Super fun. Laura's glad that you enjoyed your trip. So did I. But it's time for us to unpack our bags, pull out our reports from last week, flip to chapter 3, the history of Kimberly Brady. So we learned something this week, Mother, about Kimberly Brady.
Yes, we learned this week that Kimberly, which is Teresa's mother,
Teresa's mother, Shane's love of his life.
yes, has her leukemia has
Her
returned.
leukemia has returned. Poor Kimberly Brady. So I'm as the dummies. We don't know everything, the decades long history of Days of Our Lives. But I know from my olden days watching that Kimberly Brady, she suffers from illnesses all the time. Like if there's a
she does?
character to get sick, it's the Kimberly Brady character for some reason. She's been blind. She's had leukemia. She had a baby. And we all know that having a baby just makes you feel like you're sick all the time.
So Kimberly Brady is related, of course, she's Teresa's mother,
Yes.
and she's Andrew's, and then she's Kimberly's, no, and she's Teresa's brother's mother as well.
I believe
Does she have a
so.
brother?
I think, yeah, Andrew, right?
Yeah,
Andrew,
Andrew.
Andrew Donovan.
Yes.
So I don't know if
So how is
Kimberly's,
she a Brady is my question.
she's a Brady because her parents are Caroline and Sean. She is the full blood sister to Roman.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Kimberly is Roman's little sister.
I don't know who's older, but I think so. At least Wayne Northrup always looked older than Patsy Pease, who plays
But
Kimberly
if
Brady.
Roman's
Hey, Vita. So
okay.
there's like five Brady kids, five full-blooded Brady kids. Well, one of them was Bo and turned out to be a Kyriakis.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them, yeah, Sean, not Sean. Sean's the dad. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Sean, I'm Sean. I've got the Irish accent still from the old motherland. Sean Brady.
Yeah.
Even I sound just like this, even though I grew up in Salem myself as well. I was a little kid around here, but I didn't lose the accent, that's for sure.
Do you remember there for a little while where Madonna had an English accent
I do, I do.
and then it went away?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's because I've been living so long in England. Johnny
No.
Depp did the same thing. It's like,
Well,
oh, well, I've been living just outside of the UK for so long that my voice is starting to change.
I could pick up the South even quicker than that, but
Well, you grew up with a major Southern
that's
accent
true.
influence, though.
Yes, I did.
Like you know it comes out. We hear it weekly, almost. Honestly, sometimes there's a turn of phrase or something that you say that's just so Southern. Oh gosh. Let's see. Michelle says she had cancer off air all three timeshares. I think that Michelle means all three times. So apparently leukemia has not been something that they've depicted for Kimberly on screen. It's just something she's been battling off screen time and time again.
Time and time again.
Well, I mean, it seems to be a motivator for characters. Teresa Donovan, as we know, as Emily O'Brien for us dummies,
Hmm.
but for people who aren't dummies like us, they know a completely different Teresa,
Played by, yeah, by somebody else.
played by
That by
somebody else.
yeah, the person that came in for a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah. She reintroduced Teresa and then didn't have the time to dedicate to the show that the show wanted for Teresa. And so they switched her out with Emily O'Brien, got rid of Gwen, did the whole airport switch. It was super fun.
And now they're about to switch her again, aren't they?
I mean, switch who Emily is playing, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly, exactly, because she's going to leave. She left, actually.
Yeah, she went to California to go hang out with Mama.
Yeah, she went to California to hang out with her mom, take care of her mom. She told Tate, taking off, gonna go take care of your grandma. Da 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 da. Right?
Yeah.
And so she's taken off.
So
So
yeah, so, yeah.
Emily's gonna come back with her natural brunette hair.
Eventually, I don't know if it's going to be next week or a little while longer.
There's no telling with their time ahead filming.
Oh gosh, oh god, yeah, it's really impossible to tell. 9 months. They're doing Christmas right now. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, how far ahead do they want to get? It's kind of ridiculous in a
Maybe they
way.
want to get 2 years ahead. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, not, so at first they were 6 months, and then COVID happened, and when they came back from COVID, they're like, we want even more of a buffer just in case. We don't trust this country. So
Well, shoot, ain't that a fact?
so they did it. They went into turbo mode and got themselves 3 extra months of filming once COVID ended. It's from my understanding, at least. So they're just super far ahead because they just pumped it. They pumped it out.
Hmm.
And I think the way that they film it, like the way that they write it, the way that the plots happen, who's being used. Melinda's a great example, honestly, because she was super heavy in the Connie story, took 6 weeks off, and now she's really getting back into it with the necklace story.
Exactly.
Since they do the on and off and on and off, you can get the actor there and have them do their 30 pages a day and have those 30 pages be 2 months worth of stuff with how they have the
Yeah, because
characters
they
come
don't
in and
film
out.
in sequence. Nobody films in sequence anymore.
No, no, nothing in nothing in sequence, and when you go back and forth, like the time, like you do 40 pages on General Hospital, that's only a couple of days because it's so rapid. Days is much slower, so those 40 pages last a little longer, and so you're able to get 6 months ahead.
Yeah.
Wild, wild.
Crazy,
We
right?
have a list of Brady children. Are you ready for the list of Brady children?
I am.
All right, there's Greg, there's Bobby, there's Cindy. Let's see, there's Jan. I'm kidding. Roman is the oldest. followed by Kim, then Kayla, then Bo. Bo was the baby brother Bo. That's
Okay.
probably
So
why he
Bo
was.
is, I didn't realize that Bo was Kayla's little brother.
Yeah, so that must be why he's the one the most rambunctious one, the one that's the most ready to get into a fight and join the merchant marines and stuff, because he's the little one, he's the baby brother.
And it sounds like like perhaps Kayla and he are actually born in separate decades even.
I'm not even sure about
They
that.
don't look this, the other three have a look, and then there's Bo, right? Don't you think?
I guess. I guess he's more dark haired, but that could
Yeah.
just be the Kyriakis
Well, I
influence.
just, back when Bo was on the show, he looked significantly younger than the other three
I don't know. I
when it was on
guess.
before. Maybe when it
It's
comes
hard to
back.
tell because in the 80s and 90s, everybody looked 10 years older than they actually are.
Well, they weren't filled full of Botox and fillers yet.
They just weren't eating all of that processed foods to keep us all just so preserved from my generation. All those preservatives, Ma. All of those little brownies that you packed into our lunches,
Yeah.
full of preservatives.
I know, and illegal in the UK probably.
And it's preserved me, Mother. You wouldn't know that I'm gonna be almost 40. I'm gonna be almost 40. I'm not almost 40 yet.
No, Matt, it's going to be 39 next month.
Don't tell me it's next month. Okay, so and then there's a couple more. There's after Bo, there's Frankie and Max. Frankie and Max. I've never heard of Frankie and Max, but apparently they were adopted.
Oh, okay.
Yes. If you've heard Shane call Teresa Jeannie, it's because Jeannie is her given name. Why did they change it to Teresa? I actually heard about that
I
recently.
did notice that on the phone call. He did refer to her as Jeannie.
Yes. So Jeannie was her name when she was born. Kimberly and Shane had a baby named Jeannie, and at a certain point, it changed it to Teresa, and I don't know why.
That's interesting. I mean, they're nothing alike, those two names.
Nothing alike, nothing alike. So I don't know why the change was made, but I guess in Shane's heart, Teresa will always be Jeannie. Jeannie, I've got some terrible news for you. It seems as though your mother's cancer has returned, and John Black is dead, but I can't say anything about it. I guess Teresa's her middle name. I don't know why they would. I don't know why she made the switch or why they made the switch.
Teresa, Jeannie, Teresa. That's not it.
It doesn't flow, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It does not flow.
Usually,
you need a flowing name.
To me, if you're going to have a 3-syllable name and a 2-syllable name, the 2-syllable name belongs in the middle.
Yeah, you gotta crescendo into the climax of a name and then come crashing back down for a 2-syllable last name, like I got. I actually got two-syllable,
actually-
2-syllable, 2-syllable.
Yes, you do.
Two.
Yes, you
Is
do.
what I got.
But your name flows, though. Matthew David flows.
I mean, if you want to give away my entire name, Matthew David Kyriakis, you're able to do that. I found out recently, I found a letter that was buried in some of my stuff that was at the bottom of a box as when I moved here 5 years ago, I finally unpacked that last box. And at the bottom of it was a letter signed by Victor Kyriakis, and in it was a torn half sheet. And I'm pretty sure at the end of it, it says, a third of what I have is given to Matthew Kyriakis. So, thanks for having an affair, Mom. Thanks for having an affair. I know that Victor is very, very difficult to resist. The way that he just speaks and the way that he just sounds like a man.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
That's too much in reality. Never mind.
Never mind. Okay, we don't want reality here.
Jennifer Aniston's my stepdaughter.
Hey, ask her for some money, ma. We need some money. Hey, there's poor people in Salem, right? You know how there's like people who have money and people who don't have money, and there's people who just have enough,
Well, I can't think of any poor people there, really.
Well, maybe not people who are dirt poor, but we know Leo lived in a hotel for a long time. He didn't even have a home of his own.
I would say maybe Joy would have the least amount of money.
But I'm just saying, this show is not filled with loaded rich people from top to bottom. You got the Kyriakises and the DiMeras, those are the rich people. Everybody else is just normal.
You think Julie? Yeah, Julie's probably just normal too,
I
huh?
feel like she's normal. She's just a Horton, you know. Like
Yeah,
she had a couple of successful business ventures. Maybe there was some grift money that was left on the side from Doug's youth, and she's just been fine. But it's not like I don't see the Horton house as this giant estate.
of course not.
It's
It's
just a
not the Terry
two-story
Dots
home.
house.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
two-story home inside a neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
just there in the corner of Salem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of
But
that to
paid
say.
for by her great grandparents.
Or
It's not
built
like she's
by
having
it. She
money
doesn't have a
going out.
mortgage unless she needed it, or something like that.
She's just paying
All of
her
that to say,
taxes and her insurance.
while everybody might not have access to millions of dollars, everybody has access to a pistol.
Oh my gosh, aren't they setting that up grandly?
Everybody's getting a gun, ma.
Everybody getting a gun.
You get a gun, and you get a gun, and you get a pistol, and you, Kristen, you get a revolver. So,
Right. So we got Kristen with a gun.
Kristen's got a gun. Melinda gave Ava a gun.
Yep.
Melinda was
gave
like,
Aiden a
listen,
gun and the
listen,
bistro.
Melinda. And listen, Ava, I've been packing heat since Connie tied me to a chair underneath the DiMera house.
And
But
they
I,
mentioned her this week
yeah, I
too,
know they
Connie.
did. Julie, I know you're sitting on a secret, Julie. I know you
Jewel.
are. Julie Dove, I know you're watching. And I need you to leave a comment or a chat. With just a one or a two. One being yes, I have filmed more. Two being no. No, I haven't. Julie.
She's snug as a bug in a rug in the Bayview.
Oh my gosh. What was she like a lead cast member now? I'm sure the news would have leaked by now.
Well, I don't know, considering how far ahead they do film, they do a pretty good job of keeping things under wraps.
Well, I don't know, because the news about Chad leaving has already hit the airwaves, or the news waves, the news beat.
Yes.
Soap Opera Teen Beat magazine with their exclusive interview with Billy Flynn. So he's moving on to Young and the Restless. We already know this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like news dropping about days, I don't know when in the timeline it drops. Did we find out because the deal was just signed? Did we find out because Chad is going to be leaving Days of Our Lives sooner than we realize, and he actually hasn't been filming for 9 months?
Or is he going to pop up on the Young and the Restless pretty soon?
Right. Or is he or did they announce this because he's already gotten, the 6 weeks into Young and the Restless, and his stuff is about to start to air? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm going to have to start watching some GH a little bit. I mean, some Mark.
Really? You got time? So instead of
That's where he's going, right?
yeah, Young and the Restless, yes. So instead of having the morning TV be like the
I
new,
didn't say I was going to watch all the episodes.
so instead of having the morning news, instead of having Kelly and Mark Consuelos on, we're gonna skip The View.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna ignore GMA3 entirely, like everybody else does, and it's just gonna
I
be
could do that.
it's just gonna be the nonstop soap block morning. You're going to start with Days of Our Lives. You're going to go into Young and the Restless, watch General Hospital, and finish it off with Beyond the Gates. Sounds like a genie day. You got to pepper in some Bold and
I
Beautiful.
don't have the time to do
Bold and Beautiful.
consistently. I do not.
I barely have time to do 15 hours of soaps. How could you do 20 or 20 and 22.5? Which is what you would have to dedicate to watch all the soaps, all the American ones at least. And that's not talking about the Aussie soaps, or the Canadian soaps, or the UK soaps, or telenovelas.
Oh, no, no, no. I cannot sit in front of the TV that much. I'll turn into a lump and die.
You would just be sleeping. You'd pass out all the time. Let's see. He was at Day of Days. Good thing I met him. He was at Day of Days. It's a good thing I met him. Hi, Sandra.
Billy Flynn, you're talking about?
Must be.
Perhaps?
Must be. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. All right, Ma, let's pick a topic. Let's dive into it. Okay, everybody's got a gun. Let's keep talking about that.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ava has a gun?
Abe's got a gun.
Yes.
And Kristen has a gun.
And Kristen has a gun. And I think Johnny is going to be hunting for a gun.
Johnny mentioned that if he had a gun, he would pull the trigger right now.
Exactly.
So he'll be getting his hands on like a Dougie 3 gun or something. Let's see. And then there's just characters who own them. Brady, Old
Yeah,
Patchy.
Jada and Rafe don't have to even look for a gun.
I mean, there's the shotgun behind the Brady Pub bar. You know,
Oh
Roman's
yeah,
Roman's
Roman.
old trusty is what Roman calls it.
Oh yeah, Roman got a gun. A lot of people. Yeah, yeah. They're setting it up big time for a whodunit, aren't
Oh
they?
yeah, I mean, Kate's gonna grab Roman's gun from behind the bar, right? Not that she doesn't sleep with one under her pillow already, anyway, as we've already been exposed to. They're gonna unlock Lucas from wherever he's at, and he's gonna show up with a gun and be like, "EJ, I've been waiting decades for this."
I wouldn't be
You
surprised.
know,
I
you know.
wouldn't be surprised at all. Boy. And Johnny's response to everything that was he has now really understands. The confrontation between him and his dad after he smacked him last week.
Oh yeah,
Well,
oh yeah,
last week.
right.
Oh, it was good.
there
It
was
was
a
good.
there was this really
And
good picture.
it was really good. And another thing that I thought was good during that scene was Chanel's silent heartbreak for her husband.
Yeah, Chanel's silent heartbreak.
Yeah, she just stood there with tears rolling down her eyes,
It is
taking it
very
all
sad.
in.
I mean, it's a moment. It's a moment for these actors to dive into something deep, something soul filled, something within themselves. A little bit more so than the average Days of Our Life storyline. You know, nobody's possessed by the devil in this one. This is about a bad man doing bad things from years ago that he clearly, EJ, regrets deeply that he made these choices.
Yes, he regrets it deeply, and it sounds like Stefano really manipulated him.
Yes, stem cells and do this, and you must do this for me, my boy. You know,
Yes, yes.
and now he's a toxic, poisoned man who just
Yeah,
can't make the right
and
choice.
I felt so bad for Johnny because Johnny just feels like he almost feels like his own body is tainted, like
Yeah, he's a product of something wrong.
he's a product of something wrong. And like he said to his dad, they called her names, they called her a slut, they called her a whore, all that stuff.
But she wasn't, was she? She was coerced. She was
She was
pushed to do
coerced, she was
something.
blackmailed,
She was pushed to do something that she didn't want to do. It really wasn't her choice. She felt like she had no other recourse.
and probably felt like she needed to disassociate and just like go into a different spot until it was over.
And maybe she thought even, oh, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have twins with two different daddies. You know, I mean that never occurred to her.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna share
I
something with
hope
you.
I hope Brian Ditello is soon to be back on because and be part of this whole storyline. And obviously Sammy can't be too far away. Sammy can't be too far away, right?
No, not too
Oh
far
yeah,
away.
look at that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to
Knock
show.
the heck out of him, man.
Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen with you so you can see the picture that I'm very terribly um, showing on the audience right now. This is one of those JPI shots, right? So people have to be a part of the JPI club or whatever in order to get this quality of picture. So thank you very much, soaps.sheknows.com, for paying that money. Because you get high quality images like this, which is a still from the episode. This is EJ getting socked by Johnny, and it's so good.
Even his mushroom haircut is
Yeah,
going.
yeah. His little undercut is flying. So Dan Fuggerel, who's going to be on Audition
Yes.
Days later on today, also with Carson Boatman. So they're going to be talking about this moment with with the people over on Audition Days this afternoon.
Oh, awesome.
So go check that out. Tony
So
Moore and all that.
they're gonna be over there with Tony.
Yeah, with Tony Moore and all them.
Yeah.
So go check that out, and then in their chat, be like, "Hey, there's another Days of Our Lives podcast called Days for Dummies you guys should do," and that won't be embarrassing for us at all. So do that. Anyway, uh, anyway, I just really wanted to show this photo because it's high quality, it's amazing, it's great. Dan is just selling it like crazy. It looks like he's just
He is.
been socked, and the look in Carson's face, it's a little over the top.
He looks like a rabid dog is what Johnny looks like
But
right
there's no doubt in anybody's mind, while his facial expression is exaggerated, it is television, so it should be exaggerated. Uh, but yeah, he just looks like he's ready to do it again. Look at that eye lock.
Well, you know what I said,
Hit
like
him
I
again.
always do.
Hit him again.
Hit him again.
Hit him again. Do it again. So that's fun. That's super fun.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see. I'm glad that they remembered Rafe and Johnny had a close stepdad-stepson's relationship. And it's true. Johnny did go and talk to Rafe and get some advice.
They kind of have they kind of have the same kind of relationship, I guess, that Jada has with Steve.
Yeah, yeah. I guess Rafe was closer to Sammy at some point. You know, Sammy and Rafe were a couple at one point when Allison
Yes.
Sweeney was still on the show. So there is the connection. It's old, but it's there.
So when they were little kiddos, he had some influence and helped
Yeah,
raise
you know,
them.
somebody that came into Johnny's life that he feels like he could still trust today.
Awesome.
That's great. That's great. It's wonderful to see these little connections between the characters
Yes.
like that. And I think that's something that Days of Our Lives excels at. Like it's a very interconnected cast. Whenever two characters show up on screen together, it makes sense to me. Even Stephanie and Philip, or Stephanie and anybody, you know, it works. It works. And poor tortured Stephanie, she knows the truth in her heart. She
sure
can
does
sense it.
know.
She can smell the pregnancy off of Joy. Like,
You
I
think
can
so?
sense the change in your body chemistry, Joy. I know that you're carrying Alex's child. There's something in me that is affirming this to me as the truth. Even though I'm choosing to accept the reality that you're speaking, I'm still having nightmares of you showing up at my door, Alex Kyriakis style. But 1,000 months pregnant.
Do you?
You are pregnant with a 5-year-old. In
I
my
wonder.
dreams.
I wonder if Joy really is going back to New York. We don't know. We don't know if Joy's
Are
really
they gonna
leaving.
pull? They're gonna
I
pull the
could
General
see-
Hospital.
I could see Joy leaving and showing back up with a 5-year-old that's a real brat in 5 years.
Exactly. That's what I said on Twitter. I said, you know, I think someone's like, I can't believe Joy's leaving already. And I'm like, yeah, she's leaving now, but she'll be back in 3 years with a Kyriakis kid. Johnny loved Rafe, says Jeannie, and Jeannie knows because she loves Rafe herself in a different way than Johnny does.
Yeah.
She loves Rafe as an I want to marry him kind of way. Johnny loves him in as I trust you as a father figure way. It's a very different kind of love. But Jeannie says
They have a bond.
they have a bond. Johnny loved Rafe being from the FBI. So Rafe got him an FBI jacket.
Oh, that's cute. When he was a little dude. So actually, he's probably influenced to become a cop.
I mean, Johnny didn't choose that for himself. Instead, he's a film director.
Yes, he
We'll
is.
see how many opportunities come back up in Salem. I know that he was directing a soap opera for a minute.
He sure was. Body and soul.
I don't know what sort of future film opportunities exist for one Johnny DiMera. I think he's going to have to join DiMera Enterprises or take a job at Titan.
Well, you know, since he is a Kyriakis, he got a buttload of money.
He does have a lot of money, and I know this because I too am a Kyriakis. Okay, we all know this because of my last name, Kyriakis.
As long as they don't keep finding letters, my gosh.
I mean, eventually this fortune's just going to be whittled down into like little eighths. You know,
Here's
I
your
get an eighth,
quarter.
I get a
Here's
little
your
bit,
quarter.
I get a
Here's
little
your
bit.
quarter.
As it turns out, there was one final letter written. And this goes to the firstborn child of Alexandros Kyriakis. And so now Victoria is now in charge of Titan. Little Victoria making the CEO choices. What does the future hold? Nothing but Baby Shark.
Well, in a matter in soap opera years too, they could soar her, and little Victoria will be 20 in about 5 years.
We're going to start every meeting by singing Baby Shark. Are you ready? All right, now let's get into business. I want $10 million more dollars.
Sarah is pretty ate up with that. She seems to be
yeah.
more ate up with the fact that she knows it more than Stephanie.
She feels very guilty about it because she knows that she
Exactly.
should have told Xander a long time ago. She's just trying to keep Xander from being too angry. But, if she had said something a month and a half ago to 2 months ago, he wouldn't be as angry as he would be now.
Oh, he's going to feel so betrayed, and he's going to feel sad too because he actually
My brother.
He's bonding with Philip, and now he's going to find it all a facade.
My brother's lied to me this whole time.
This whole time.
And you kept it from me, Sarah. I had to learn it from little Victoria.
You know what? The best way this could end up, because it can't end up good no matter what, but the best way it could end up is for Philip to come clean. But that's not going to
I
happen
mean, maybe he might have a crisis of conscience. Probably not, but maybe.
because he's kind of feeling like Xander does, like, this is a good setup, and he's feeling some brotherly bond too.
Yeah, like if you just approached him as a brother, being like, "Hey, man, like, you think we could just hang out and bond?"
Hmm.
It would have worked. But instead, now we just get him off to the side going,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
"Don't tell the truth."
Hmm.
That's my Philip. It's very visual. You're going to have to come watch
That
the
is,
YouTube.
he does that a lot.
You're going to have
He
to.
does a lot of facial stuff.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt what's going through his mind, and that's a quality soap choice. When you're an actor out there in soap land, you gotta inform the audience of what you're thinking.
Hmm.
Lara thinks that a tiny FBI jacket would be adorable,
It would be.
and I agree. Just little tiny. I don't know what Johnny looked like when he was a little kid. Back when Rafe and Sammy were an item, but I want to see it. It would probably look like a little FBI Halloween costume.
Probably. Probably had a cap with it and everything.
Yeah, a little FBI dark glasses, maybe a notebook, a little notepad,
Aviators.
little
Little
notepad.
aviators.
I'm writing down the evidence. But instead, I'm going to direct action dramas. And I'm going to cast you, Rafe. I don't know. I prefer Rafe in a suit. I don't know about you, but I prefer him in a suit. When he's not wearing a suit, he just feels so like Saturday afternoon.
You think so?
Yeah.
You like Rafe, you like the Rafe to either have a suit on or look like a cop?
Yeah, like a little jacket, a little something, a little collar there. But when he's just in like a hoodie and a t-shirt and he's got his just hair all fluffy, I'm just like, it's too lazy.
Oh, it looks too much like Arnold.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I know you know what I'm talking about, because that whole scene where he was talking to Johnny, he just looked like he'd rolled out of bed 5 minutes ago.
He reminds you too much. He does. He reminds
Just
me
the
of.
only
If
difference
he's
is I'm
not,
not
if
talking
he's
like
not.
this. I'm just not, don't have that same Arnold swagger.
Yeah. Arnold was such a creep. My
He
gosh.
sure was. He sure was. He was a really ineffective Sonny Corinthos.
Yeah.
I've got all the charm. Look at me. Oh, everybody hates me because I'm an ass. Oh, no. And Johnny also reacting to what Arnold did 10 years ago,
Yeah.
pretending to be Rafe, slipping in there when he shouldn't. I mean, that's also some assault. Poor Sammy. Poor Sammy. Well, Sammy was the victim of soap storylines before the turn of culture.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these convincing statements, these quid pro quos, this if you do this for me, dun, 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 or the sneaking in and pretending to be somebody else, and then the big dramatic reveal, oh my God, you're actually the father of. All of these soap things were just on the borderline, on the cusp of morality back
Yes.
then. But now it's
Yes.
just the most evil act you could take. And that's not a criticism saying that, oh no, we've gone too far. I'm just saying that the lens is different and now the storylines, through an historical magnifying glass,
Mm-hmm.
come up with a different result.
Yeah.
Evil Sammy might not be so evil when she comes back.
She might not,
Because
but
she
you
might
guys
be.
got some revenge on her heart, though.
Well, she might have some revenge in her heart, but there's also now exploring the victimhood of Sammy and how it made her do particular things or say particular stuff.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes.
It does.
Yes, it does. Sorry, I saw a figure pass by my window.
Okay.
Curious about it. I don't live alone on this property. Just seeing what people are up to. Anyway, I loved Rafe and Sammy together, says Sharon. Thank you very much for your contribution, Sharon. I want to see it. I want to see Sammy. Sammy's such a legendary character.
We haven't
haven't
had
seen.
a chance.
No.
The two people I really want to see that I have not had an opportunity to see at all because of my short viewing time is Sammy and Bo.
Sammy and Bo. Well, I mean, Peter Reckle right now, while isn't fanning the flames of, well, he might be a little bit because he showed up on Michael Fairman the other day, talking about days and how much he loved playing Bo and he'd love to come back someday. And
Oh,
now there's
okay, okay, okay.
campaigns and letter writings and this, that, and to sign my petition, and I'm gonna send it to Peacock, and let's do a tweet frenzy and hashtag bring back Bo and all sorts of stuff is now surrounding the Bo Brady character, which is just them utilizing their 9 months of filming.
Right? But did you? I did. EJ does not deserve any kind of, no one should be feeling sorry for EJ at all. However, I thought that scene on Friday where he kind of just sits on the stairs and starts to cry, he does feel bad about this stupid choice he made.
He feels terrible and has for weeks. Like
And has
they planted the seeds of him feeling bad about it for a long time.
long time.
Because when it was when the Arnold thing started. He's like, listen, Arnold, man, it was wrong then, and we don't do these things now. Essentially, was what he had said. I don't remember the exact quote or the exact line, but the
Well,
idea
Arnold
from
did
EJ
something.
was
He did something ugly to Sammy too.
exactly, and it was pretty much EJ talking to him about that in code, not
Yeah.
exactly, but it's like, hey, bro, whatever
Uh-huh.
you think you're gonna do with Rafe's life, we don't do that anymore. So there's that. Yeah, good job, Dan, because you can see the push, the pull, the battle of how bad he feels, plus the DiMera influence right behind it, where he feels
Yes.
bad, but I must keep this under wraps. I feel bad, but people can't know about this. I feel bad, but I must control the narrative surrounding what it is that I've done.
Right.
To a point where I'm gonna jab Rachel Blake and have her go, ha,
Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was so good. I loved it. And you know what? She almost pulled it off, but she called him EJ.
yes.
She almost pulled it off. Almost.
EJ? All right, fine. I remember everything. I saw you took that thing out of the safe and I just switched it with some water. Not that injecting water directly into your bloodstream is the most healthy choice that you can make, but it's not so bad.
Only thing she said his glucose was going to go up, and that was it.
Oh, so
My
it was
sugar, my
it was
sugar's off.
it was sugar water then. Okay, that's good. That's good. You gotta have something. You can't just because if you put tap water in your veins, Ma, you're gonna get sick because your
I
stomach.
don't know anything, okay?
Okay, so here's what happens biologically, okay? You swallow water, all right? And then the
Sure.
water, the H2O part of it, the actual water gets absorbed into your blood. And if there's some crap that's in it, then it gets filtered by your liver, by your kidneys, and all that sort of stuff, by your stomach, your acids, all of that burning up, whatever it is that's inside the water, right?
Right.
Relatively healthy after that. Directly into your veins, Ma. You don't have those filtrations. You don't have those same processes. Sure, it'll still go through your liver. Sure, it'll still go through your kidneys. You're probably not going to die, but it's not going to be as comfortable as if you drank it. Keep that in
Makes
mind.
sense.
Keep that in
Makes.
mind.
Do you need to go see what's happening?
No, it's just distracting.
Okay.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness gracious. All right. Anyway, it's what's his name out there watering the plants. How nice. Okay, Rachel looked like a Q-tip with that wrapped white thing on her. The lady in white knows no other colors, folks.
Well, she's mad,
She's a mistress of bleach.
She's kind of crazy. That was
Kind
she's
of.
kind of crazy.
She's a little nuts.
Actually, she seemed the least crazy when she gave up the whole syringe thing. That's when she seemed the least crazy.
Well, maybe everything's a big act. Maybe she's far more lucid, and she's not nuts. I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. She's also gone.
she's scaring the crap out of her daughter.
She's scaring her daughter.
It's like, oh my gosh, what is she capable of?
Everything and anything. On top of that, too, Ma, now she's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone. Okay. EJ's like, I don't know what you mean. She must have wandered off. But no, he like clobbered her or something, and she's somewhere.
Yeah, because he was looming over her and they cut to commercial and then that was the end of
And
that.
that was the end of
I
that.
think she's probably behind that. She's in the tunnels.
She's either in the
Somewhere else.
tunnels, she's back in Iramid, maybe she's dead.
Boy, oh boy.
I doubt it though. I don't think EJ's doing that.
That would be another, if they find out that something happened to her because of EJ, That's just another reason to shoot his butt.
Well, I mean, Kristen's already ready to do it. She's got that gun, and she's just like,
Yes, 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 yes.
it's no good.
But at the same time, it seems like Kristen's scared of her mom to a certain degree of what she's really capable of.
Yeah,
And she knows she's nuts and she could even turn on her daughter.
she's scared about what it is that she can't control from her mom, and scared about what it is that she might be able to control with her mom. I don't know.
And I was surprised. I was surprised that little Rachel showed back up this week and
With the same face.
yes, same
Yeah,
person.
me too. I'm very surprised
I
with
thought
that
for
too.
sure Rachel would come back a different person because they did replace the actress. We know that.
Yeah, we know that's coming, and then the storyline opportunity was there. We sent her off to extreme therapy for a couple of weeks. She comes back 2 years older. Didn't happen.
Didn't
I
happen.
wonder if
Right.
then we're just gonna get one day, like just the beginning of a new episode. We got a new Rachel.
Yeah.
The role of Rachel Black is now being played by.
And if they did, well, they can't do something like Teresa like, because they're obviously going to soar as her.
I mean, I want them to do something fun with it. I mean, they did something fun with the airport. That was fun. And then what we need to do is like, instead of the hug, like the Crystal Carey and Babe hug from All My Children,
Yep.
we have like Kristen going like, "Oh, Rachel, let's do something different with your hair today," right? And she comes and she
Uh-huh.
fluffs up the hair, and we get like Rachel from behind or something, and Kristen
Uh-huh.
doing up the hair and curling it and putting it in a ponytail. And when we turn around, it's the new actor.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Supposedly a new Rachel, according to Sandra, is debuting on April 24th.
Oh, well, that's
So
not very
another
far away.
no, but another month.
Another month, yeah.
Jeannie says must be new. Must be soon with the new kid. And then followed up by Sandra. The babe hug was the best, shouts Sharon. Hey. And then the reference to it on Days. Yes, they did reference it with the body and soul Leo writing stuff. Oh, well, we can
Yes.
switch it out. What if we did a hug? You know,
Yep, yep, yep. It was awesome.
it really was. It really was. Hey, Leo's moving in with the Hernandezes. And just like last week, how we said, oh, so Javi just didn't tell anybody? No, Javi didn't tell anybody.
No, and now Leo's concerned about that.
Yes, to a degree, because Gabby was like, I would rather spin in my grave than allow this to happen. And, through some charm, through some promises, through some I promise we'll keep it quiet. And I won't be here when your daughter visits. Gabby was able to break down. She doesn't trust Leo because of what he did to Will and and Sonny. I don't know what he did to Will and Sonny, but Will and Sonny is the successful gays on the show.
Yeah, and
So
and isn't
maybe he tried to break them up.
and which one is John's son? One of them is
Sonny,
John's son, right?
Sonny is John's son, and
Yeah.
and I think it was controversial, but then people came around to liking it because they like Sonny. But can you just John Black's Sonny? I missed all of that. But
Yeah.
I don't. It was a time in which I think I mean, the dude's 40, so it must have been. He must have been a product of John before he came to Salem.
Yeah.
Something while he was the pawn, somebody he was with while he was the pawn, and then there was this Sonny. Or very shortly after, the first time he fell off the show. The first time he wasn't with Marlena or with Isabella. And I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't watching.
Well, he
Oh, he's Justin's son?
Brady appears to be older than Sonny.
Who's John's son then if it's Justin's son is Sonny?
Justin's son is Sonny.
That's what Chad is saying.
Well, who's the young man that came? Well,
Paul is John's son? Okay. See, we just don't know these characters because we didn't see him. I thought Sonny was Paul. I guess not.
I did too. I did
Oh,
too.
goodness. Will is Sammy and Lucas's son. We knew that.
Okay.
We knew that. Sonny apparently is Justin's kid, and then Paul is John's kid. We were talking about Paul the whole time. That's
We
who
were
we
talking
were talking about. We just confused
renamed
him
him.
with Sonny.
We just renamed him Sonny.
It's Justin's son. I get it, Chad. I get it. I'm going to look up a picture of...
Yeah, we're still dummies.
All right, Sonny Kyriakis. Okay. All right. Now, is Sonny one of the gays too, folks? Let me know. I have a picture of Sonny, Ma. I'm going to try to pull up a... Is it still Freddie Smith who plays Sonny? Is that the last one we saw? Hang on. Hang on, Mother. These pictures are so tiny. I'm trying to show it to you. Share this. Share that. Put this. All right, is this the dude we're talking about, folks?
I don't see nothing, babe.
You don't see nothing? How about now?
Nope.
You still
Oh,
don't
there
see?
we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that who we're talking about? That's Sonny. All right, that's Sonny.
Okay, let me look. Let me put my glasses on for a second because that's small.
Sorry. See this, and then I put Paul. See, oh, Paul Black.
Wrong, Paul.
Paul Black. Paul Black. Days of Our Lives. There he is. All right, so this is who I thought Sonny was.
That's who I thought we were talking about, but I just called him Sonny.
Yes. So okay,
Yes.
okay.
That's the face I had in mind.
Yes. So this is Paul, and he's
Yes.
and who is he with? Paul's husband. Days of Our Lives. Okay. Paul and Will, or is it Paul and Sonny? Who are these people? Okay, chat, now I really need your help.
Oh my word.
All right, chat. Help us. Andrew. He's with Andrew? I thought... I'm so confused.
Andrew Reese's brother, right?
I thought... Andrew... How many gay people are on this show? I need to know. How, like, is there 50? Because that is something that people don't talk about enough.
Mm-hmm.
Will almost killed Leo. Will and Sonny are married. Paul is with Andrew. They have 2 off-screen gay couples, Mother.
Oh, okay.
See, they need to be on-screen for us to know what the heck it is we're talking about. Because when they're off-screen...
Well, the on-screen gay couple we have now is just Leo and Rafe.
Just Leo
and Javi.
Javi. They're fine together. I like them. I like Javi. I'm waiting for Javi to really burst. You know, I think they've done some great work with Javi when it comes to, like, creating a fun character. I don't mind him being on the show. I enjoy his contributions. I think he's charming and enjoyable. He's handsome. I like the way that he just does his Javi thing. I'm totally cool with it. But I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm waiting for this guy to have a real story. Because he doesn't have a real story.
Not really. Other than just being cousin to Rafe and...
Right. You know, there's a great everyday aspect of it. Hey, this is the family, you know. But when it comes to, like, some sort of, like, getting slapped in the face by a bar of soap, we don't have that from Javi yet.
But Leo cracked me up. You have to tell your cousins I'm moving in for real.
You have to tell your cousins. It'll be fine. They'll notice. Will almost killed Leo, and Will and Sonny are married. Paul is with Andrew Donovan. Sonny and Will. Will and Sonny were the first ones. Yes, Jeannie. I think Will and Sonny were like the ones that, like, made out and pushed the envelope and opened up the doors in 2005 or some nonsense. You know what I mean?
Jeannie, we are not going to change your name to Angela. You are the new Angela.
I mean, I've got anytime Angela's not in, the chalkboard that we have as our background, it says the professor is out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it out right now, and see if we can show that the professor is in. Because boom, look at that, Jeannie. Professor is in. I just changed it. It now says the professor is in. Just like that, Jeannie.
But just remember, Jeannie, this is a internship. You will not earn a dime.
So the chat keeps on saying all of these things that Sonny and Will did to Leo, but have nothing to say about what Leo did to Will and Sonny.
Well, you know, Leo is capable of big shenanigans, and at heart, he's a better man than he used to be, but at heart, he is a self-centered little SOB.
And here's the other question. All right, we just did this whole diatribe. We pulled apart the family tree to figure out who these 4 gay people were. Okay? And on top of that, my question at the end of it remains, why does Gabby care? Who's Will and Sonny to Gabby?
I don't know.
Tell me.
And why would she care?
Tell me. Jeannie doesn't want to go on cam. It's okay, Jeannie. You don't have to be the third host. I'm just saying. We're just saying.
You could be the professor within chat. That's what you've been doing for weeks. You don't even know it.
Yeah. See, at a certain point, when the professor stops showing up and it's just the TA every day, The TA becomes the professor.
Yes.
Plus, to confuse you even more, Allie and Chanel were gay for like 2 minutes and then had a three-way with Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are raising her child. Okay, thank you very much, Sharon. So Ari lives with Will and Sunny. Why? I don't know yet. I'm still
Well,
waiting for
one of
more
them is their
information.
dad. One of them is her dad.
Oh, is that what it
For
is?
real.
Okay, okay. She and Will had the child together. So Will wasn't always a homo.
No,
No.
no. At one point, he was like doing this.
He's like, oh, maybe, maybe. Ooh, but that man's butt looks nice. You know? Phew. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, big surprise. So they wrapped up Leo in some sort of oriental rug because they thought he was dead. Will and Sunny did.
Mm-hmm.
But surprise, he was actually alive. Alex Kyriakis and Stephanie Johnson had love in the morning and the afternoon. Ah, LaShun. LaShun, hello, welcome to class, LaShun. Will is the baby daddy. Sunny helped deliver Ariana. So there's big connection. Big
Okay,
connection
okay.
there.
So that's where she's vested
I'd
from.
be curious to see how that all played out actually on the show. You know, like or Gabby has the baby. It's Ariana. Sunny's there to deliver it. I don't know what the relationship between Will and Sunny was at the time, but if it was like romantic, then that's like a strange Uncle Sunny type of situation.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I would.
Interesting.
I would like to see Gabby's daughter come on the show. She, as you know, she's a
You
teenager.
know,
She would be a.
they mention her enough that there's plenty of
They
opportunity.
mention her
Like
quite a bit.
they're
They do.
making like there's even us who are the dummies, as we explained at the top of the hour and every week. We know who Gabby's daughter is. We know her by name. We forgot temporarily, and then you guys reminded us that she lives with Will and Sunny. We knew that at some point and forgot.
And I remember when Gabby first got out of jail, the first thing she did was hop over and see her daughter for a
Right.
couple of days.
Yeah, right. So we know that she exists. Like the show
Yep,
makes
and
sure
carry
that
on.
the audience knows that Ari exists.
Yeah,
So there
Ariana.
must be something. Maybe just even being wise enough as a soap writer to keep the off-screen character alive in the lives of the people we do
Yeah,
see on screen. So when they slide on back in, it's natural.
it is.
I'm with it.
Days of Our Lives does that a lot
They do
too.
that so well. They really do.
They-
Like it's one of their
yeah, they
best
do it a
things.
lot, and you're right, they do it well.
They do, and then you get also random things where like, hey, let's get Kristen Alfonso in here with a stunt hand, and just remind everybody that Bo and Hope exist. We're gonna have Hope flash on through because Doug passed away. Even though Kristen Alfonso in 2014 said she'd never do Days of Our Lives again.
Well, I really, the little taste we did get of her, what I liked about her was she seems like a badass.
She
That's
is a
what I liked
badass.
about
She
her.
really is a badass though. Days of Our Lives has a lot of like really strong, capable, badass female characters, and that's something that has just existed through time. So that's nice. Kristen Alfonso herself has a prolific soap career, very well known as Hope on Days of Our Lives, a well-known actor, well-known face. Kristen Alfonso is a name that I knew before even watching Days of Our Lives, before even knowing that she was Hope. I knew Kristen Alfonso, the soap opera actress, right? The only thing is she's altered her look in her later years to a point in which you can see that she's still Hope, but she doesn't resemble her younger self very much. In my opinion. You can tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm being too judgmental. But yeah, you can see it in there. It's just it's because in modern days, in 2025, the sunken in cheek look, you don't want round chipmunk cheeks, is what's in. You want those cheekbones, you want that jawline, and you don't want cheeks.
Right.
And she had some cheeks before, and she got those taken down.
Yep.
You see it all the time.
You see it
It's
constantly.
it's like the number one Hollywood plastic surgery now. It really is. Anyway, that's not judgment. That's just talking.
Exactly.
She's still beautiful and still a badass.
Yeah.
I think Leo had an affair with Will and tried to blackmail Will or something like that, says Lara.
Oh, well, that sounds right up Leo's
That
alley.
sounds like something Leo would do. Yeah, that sounds very plausible. That sounds like
Yes,
something
that
he would
sounds
do.
right. Like that sounds like a Leo plan for sure.
I think we need to do a family tree tutorial one Sunday. That might not be a bad idea.
Actually, I think I do have a picture of a family tree for Days of Our Lives.
Oh yeah?
buried in my photo somewhere. I think so.
Somewhere. Even then, like we're an interactive podcast, and I've got a great computer now, so I'd be able to put up something where you guys could tell me where somebody fits in the family tree, and I could put it in there. Maybe if we're able to arrange a days-a-thon, that's something we can give an actor to. Be like, all right, so we've got a Days of Our Lives family tree here, and I need you to tell me where your character fits.
That's cool. That would be fun.
What branch? What's your character's parents? And wouldn't it be funny if we got an actor on here who's like, oh, I don't know who my character's parents are.
Well, and then we can do. Let's all tell you who you are.
All right. Well, chat's going to tell us exactly who your family connections are. Oh goodness. LaShawn says Joy Wesley left Salem. She did.
She did.
She left. But how long is leaving? We mentioned
Yeah,
it
we said
briefly.
that
She
earlier.
might
How
back.
long is leaving?
Yeah.
She's gonna throw up. She's gonna show up with a little curiosity.
She can throw up in 3 to 5 years. She could show up with a Kiriak's kid, or she could pull a Valentine and be like, "I'm going to the airport now."
Right? Oh
Just
my
kidding.
gosh.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
What? Don't put me in jail.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get to that later.
Well, maybe the whole thing for with Chanel and Johnny is going to fall apart, and maybe Joy will provide the baby for Johnny and Chanel.
But then Alex can't know because Alex will want the baby.
That's true. Alex couldn't know.
Because Alex has already been like, listen, Stephanie, I totally would have still been in your bed, but I still would have been a daddy to that baby, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going to happen there. Most of the actors know less about who belongs to whom than all of us.
I believe it. I believe it. Why would you? Yeah.
I mean, if it hasn't played out in a story that you've done, there's no real reason for the actor to know it. No
True.
real. Especially if it's like, oh, this is my second cousin. As it turns out,
Or-
that, you know.
Or if you're somebody like Julie Dove, that was a big fan to begin with,
Then you might know.
you would know.
Yeah, I mean, if I was playing a soap character, I would be curious as to who I was related to on the cast, even previous, current, all that. I'd be curious to know, and then what stories that they were involved in. I would want to know that, but I'm also not going to sit here and say that's a requirement.
Well, I do think that perhaps Joy will turn around and come back quickly because when her mom finds out, her mom's going to find out
Oh yeah,
that the baby is a Karaoke's baby.
maybe we'll get Patrick Adarbo or whatever coming through, being like, listen, you have to give me money.
Yep. Yep.
The things you've done to my
This
other
is a
daughter.
gold digging moment. Come on.
Oh, it really is. It really is.
It really is.
Let's find out how much money this guy can go. All right. Let's find out. All right. Can you imagine? Imagine this child support. Just imagine it.
Right.
Let's see. So Rachel's gone because if she squawks to the DA Belle, that is, or whoever it is that's covering this, because Belle had recused herself.
Yeah.
Whoever she needs to confess to, she can't because she's not around.
Right.
Let's see. Jada and Rafe vow to get answers, so that's good. They're a team until Rafe finds out that Jada made a poor choice while he wasn't himself. And maybe he'll be forgiving, or
She needs-
not.
Tell him about that.
I mean, so as people do, they speculate. There's pictures out there, it's 9 months. And there's pictures and stills and this, that, and the other stuff that come on social media that have leaked here and there. Oh, I see in the bottom corner of this photo, if you put it up, there's a monitor that shows these two, the eagle-eyed social media viewers out there. They're convinced. They're convinced that the future holds more Sean and Jada.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe something is gonna.
I don't know.
Something's gonna go wrong within their bliss, and perhaps that will happen.
Because it's awkward for me being the dummy. Okay? Because I don't have, like, Sean Brady's been on the show since he was born. Belle has been on the show since she was born. Whether it's that actor or somebody else or all that kind of nonsense, the character's been there since they were born. So that means that people who aren't dummies have a huge connection to Belle and Sean that I don't have. And so they've been shoved back into the show because whatever was going on behind the scenes has resolved, and they brought these characters back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly obvious. Something was going on with the Nicole situation, the Ari Zucker situation, the producer. I don't know exactly what it is, but something sent them away, and that thing is over, so they brought them on back. But since I don't have a connection to these two, I am struggling to muster a connection to the problems in their lives. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't care right now.
Fair enough.
Because I don't know them. I don't have the investment to say, oh, I care that they're not together. I don't have the investment to say, I can't believe that Sean is going in the Jada direction. I don't have the investment to say, come on, Belle, you're really screwing it up when it comes to EJ and his connection to your sister and all this Johnny stuff. And what are you doing?
Because we never saw
Because
the
we never saw
bliss
it.
that they once had. Once
Right.
had. Yeah.
So I
They
don't,
were they were in trouble, and Sham was drinking like crazy, and they were in trouble when we started watching the
yeah.
show.
And then they were gone. And now they're
And then they
back.
were gone, and then they
And
come back divorced.
they came back divorced, and it wasn't like when Gabby came back and we had these huge moments to really connect ourselves to Gabby and the new actor and all that. These are
Yeah.
old stars returning after controversy, and I just don't care right now. And that's not a harsh criticism. That's just me sitting here as an audience member right now without a connection to these characters.
Hmm.
So I want a connection. I want to care.
Hmm.
I think Brandon Beamer is somebody that people like, and he's the one that plays Sean.
Hmm.
I don't know, Ma. I don't know. I know that I like talking about Days of Our Lives. That's for sure.
I do too. When it comes to like the most handsome younger man on the show, that's JJ. He's hot.
A 22-year-old daughter. Well,
Who
I
has a
think
22-year-old daughter?
apparently Belle and Sean's got a 22-year-old kid, so they really need to figure it out. They're old, all
And
right?
Tank doesn't look like she's old enough to have a 22-year-old daughter, right? Tank looks like I could totally see why that she would have that nickname. You know, she's just a little cute little thing right
Just a
now.
little Tinkerbell, just a little pixie, just a pixie right there, just a pixie lawyer. Yeah, that's a fact. We got a that's a fact this
Even
week.
Big Brother Brady calls her Tank.
It's a good nickname. The only there's this clip that I saw of Marlena. Marlena didn't remember nothing for whatever reason. Soap amnesia. And she
Hmm.
was talking about Belle with John.
Hmm.
And then she's like, well, do I call her Izzy as well? And John's like, nah, it's just my thing. We got a that's a fact this week, Ma, from Brady. And that's nice because that's a fact is a Johnism.
Hmm.
That's a fact. Swing for the fences, calling people slugger. And so all of that's Johnisms. And so we got a that's a fact from Brady
Hmm.
this week. I don't remember what it was about, unfortunately.
I was probably talking to Tank.
He was talking about Tate about something about, oh, they were going to go, oh, because John is missing. They were going to go to the
Hmm.
batting cages and this sort of stuff, and he got a that's a
Hmm.
fact. It was a wonderful Drake Hogestyn slash
It was.
John Black memorial moment.
It was.
As we're leading up to it, okay? Because we got old Shane Donovan there saying, oh, I can't tell you anything, Marlena. I'm sorry, except for I feel so guilty that I'm going to tell you the last place we saw him was Estonia. By the
Yes.
way, Kimberly has cancer. Goodbye.
And Marlena's pissed. You know what I noticed on Friday's credits? It said Deidre Hall plays Marlena Black.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's not
Say
Marlena
it.
Evans. Maybe she's been Marlena. I don't know. I don't know about that. Are they changing it? Is she going to take the last name Black?
Bet she's going to change her name.
Wouldn't that be fun?
And I don't really look at the credits, but I that just really jumped out at me
Yeah,
because
because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
never
sure.
referred to herself that I've ever heard as. She always says Marlena Evans.
Yeah, she's Dr. Evans, isn't she?
Yeah, it says Deidre Hall as
Marlena Black. I wonder if they're going to change that. Let us know, Chad, if we're thinking of it wrong.
she's going to pull a Spencer. You know, she's going to pull a Cardi thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What?
Her last name.
I'm going to change my name to John Black. Marlena John Black. Sandra saying paving the way for the John storyline. It is fat. It is sad.
Absolutely.
I'm choosing to be excited about it.
There's two things that are really paving the way for what's coming up fast, and that's John, of course, the demise of John. That's one of them that's coming up fast, right?
And who shot EJ?
And who shot EJ?
That's
Yes.
coming up soon. It's very much coming up soon. Let's see. Belle was named after her brother's baby, Brady's mother. Yes, after Isabella. After Isabella.
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, we'll see what the future holds with that. We'll see what happens with because everybody wants to go, like, but Steve and Marley are like, nah, we're gonna do this ourselves. I need it. I need everybody in Estonia. Especially, and I think that they've been warming up Roman's participation in this too, because Roman has to play a part in it. How can you not include Roman in the John Black's death storyline? You gotta. So they're even like, hey, Roman, how come you stopped saving the world? Well, I mean, family's more important than saving the world sometimes. Like, at a certain point in your life, things are more important. I started to focus on family. Was blah 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 blah. But why are we asking why are you not saving the world if he's not going to go out there and try to save the world?
I think the three power couples should go save the world.
Stephen, Kayla, Roman, and Kate. And then just Marlena.
Yeah. Well, Kate can be pretty assertive when she wants to.
She can
told
be.
EJ off.
Well, she did, and then what we've definitely established is that Kate is the one that knows everything about everybody in town. So, this is our failing for not being decades-long days watchers. Because we don't know Kate past just the last year of her hanging out in the the pub.
It's all your granny's fault, Matthew, because she was an ABC viewer.
I know. Like, if she only had just switched over to NBC once, just once, you would have been like, who's that guy? John Black, how interesting. I think that's it, Ma. That's it. What did EJ do to Rachel? We're going to find out.
I know. I want her to be an airmid, being tied to an old-fashioned wheelchair.
Yeah, she's tied to a chair just like Rafe was. That's what I imagine. So we'll see.
And I wouldn't be surprised if someone finds her because Jada and Rafe go looking for clues.
Yeah.
Because they're about to figure out that Rafe was moved over there. Well, they suspect it now.
Big
they
time.
just don't have proof.
Big time. That's why they
But
want.
I think we're going to have them over at Aramid pretty soon, snooping around trying to find clues.
That's why they wanted Rachel to speak up with full immunity. So we'll see how all that goes. Well, folks, that's it. Class is over. That's how we do it in college, all right? This is Salem University, not Salem High. All right, there's no bells. At a certain point, the professor just says, "Get out."
Yeah.
So, Jeannie, I need you to tell everybody to leave. Let's see. The writers are going to start focusing more on family in April. That's right. We're coming up very soon to the switcheroo. The big old switchadoodle.
Oh, yeah. We're almost to the date where the writers change. Right?
Yeah. That's actually surprising because we're warming up to the John storyline. We're not in the midst of it or at the end of it. So that means that Ron didn't write it. He started it, but he ain't finishing it. So I wonder what twists and turns and changes we'll see, because that's always what happens. New writers come on, and then they have to rework what's happening now to fit what it is their vision is. So we'll have to see what that is.
The vision is not the same.
Because the vision's not the same. No, but they have to take where they're at now. They can't just take their arm and sweep the table and knock everything off of it. You have to take.
They can't have the audience go, well, that's the exact moment where that happened.
Yeah, you gotta have a natural kind of transition of ending this or turning it or twisting it or changing it in some way.
Yes.
Maybe that's what the whole shooting thing is. Maybe that's gonna be a big twist. Ron starts it but doesn't finish it. Or maybe that's the last thing he wrote. And EJ DiMera is shot by ? And then he slides the script to the writers and says, good luck.
Right? And I don't think EJ is going to die or something. I think he's going to be on the brink of death.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine.
But I don't think he'll die.
Oh, Jeannie said get out. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for Days for Dummies live, 9 a.m. Pacific time, right here on YouTube. Also, come back at 11 a.m. Pacific time for some GH Chatter with 10th Floor podcast, and then back again at 1:30 Pacific time to talk about Beyond the Gates. So just hang out with us all day. And then also go hang out in Dish and Days and go see Dan Fuggerel. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm just making it up. And Carson Beltman over on Dish and Days. So that's it. Grab your books. Don't leave anything behind because there's another class coming through, and they will steal your stuff. They
Yeah,
will.
they
It
send
will
them
not be here
to
next
your heart.
Sunday if you leave it behind. It will not be here, I promise. So take everything. Jeannie's
If
going to
you leave
tease
your
you.
trapper keeper behind, I'm going to take it and put it in my store.
And that's hot commodity. Vintage items are big. So that's it. Jeannie's going to go tease Angela in the meantime, and I'm here for that. So that's it, folks. We'll see you in a little bit. I've been Matt.
I've been cat.
And remember to swing for the fences. Goodbye. See ya.